Yinlin just released yesterday. If you still confused about her play and build, I hope you can find some useful information in this video. First of all, Yinlin's basic attack put a sinner's mark on the enemies. The mark will be disappear if Yinlin is leave the field or moving far away from the target. When Yinlin's resonance skill casting, her basic attack put the red sinner's mark on the enemies, and it's also transform all the sinner's mark available into red sinner's mark. When Yinlin hit the enemies by basic attack, resonance liberation or dodge counter, the red sinner's mark trigger an extra damage to the enemies. The extra damage of red sinner's mark can be triggered once every second, and it will be disappear after 4 times, or when Yinlin leave the field. Every basic attack and resonance skill recharge her 4-day circuit energy bar. When the energy bar is full, Yinlin's heavy attack consume all the bar to transform all the sinner's mark and red sinner's mark available into triangle sinner's mark. Triangle sinner's mark is lasting for 18 seconds, and the important things is the marks is not disappear if Yinlin leave the field. When Yinlin or the other characters do the damage to the enemies, triangle sinner's mark deals an extra damage to them. This mark can be triggered once every second, and it damage is higher than red sinner's mark. Unlike red sinner's mark, the extra damage of triangle sinner's mark have no limit numbers. Yinlin's resonance liberation is calling the thunder to attack the enemies and put the sinner's mark on them. Yinlin's concerto energy is increased when resonance skill, resonance liberation, intro skill is hits the targets or perform a perfect dodge. When the concerto energy is full, switching to the other characters to active Yinlin's outro skill. Yinlin outro skill is gaining the next character 20%, electro damage, and 25% ultimate damage. Yinlin intro skill is damage on the enemies, and it's also put the sinner's mark on them. Yinlin skills priority. Yinlin's main damage comes from Fort Circuit's Judgment Strike, so upgrading Fort Circuit is the highest priority. Next is Resonance Liberation, which has a good multiplier. Then comes Resonance skill. Finally, consider upgrading intro skill and basic attack. And next, we head to Yinlin's Resonance Chain. At level 1, Yinlin Resonance skill deal more 70% damage to the enemies. Level 2, the red sinner's mark is recovery 5 energy to 4 circuit bar, and 5 energy to her ultimate. Level 3, Yinlin Fort Circuit releases deal more 55% damage. Level 4, after Fort Circuit release hits a target, the attack of all team member is increased by 20% for 12 seconds. Level 5, if the target's got the sinner's mark, her ultimate is deals 100% extra damage on them. Level 6, in the first 30 seconds after casting Yinlin's ultimate, her basic attack will trigger an extra damage to the enemies on hits, up to 4 times. This damage is similar to red sinner's mark, but it's more harder. So I think the resonance chain doesn't changes Yinlin's gameplay too much. I suggest that you only need Yinlin's chain at level 2 to improve her necessary recharge. Echo's set, Void Thunder, is the only set for Electro characters at this time. And there are 2 samples of the Echo's set that many people have used. 43311. This sample is strongest, but it's also more difficult for farming and hard to get the beautiful stats. We will need main stats of cost 4 is critical damage, bold of cost 3 is electro damage bonus, and cost 1 is attack percent. 44111. The secondary sample is temporary solution if you don't get the first one at this time. We will need bold of cost 4 is critical damage, and 3 cost 1 is attack percent. With this set, you can easily reach to higher critical value. But this set is only consume 11 echo spaces as you see. And this set is lack some necessary electro damage bonus for the character. If you don't have her signature weapon, you can try critical rate as main stats of cost number 4. Remember, Yinlin resonance skill is bring her 15% critical rate for 5 seconds. And please make sure her critical rate is 70% or higher. The substats should be critical rate, critical damage, flat attack, and attack percent. The primary echo should be Thundering Mephis. This echo is performed 6 attacks. It's also gained 12% electro damage and 12% resonance liberation damage for 15 seconds after casting. You can also try Tempest Mephis. Tempest Mephis deals lower damage than Thundering Mephis, and its heavy attack buff is not really necessary for Yinlin play, but its animation is more quicker. Weapon selection. The best weapon for her is String Master, which available in limited weapon convene. The second best is Cosmic Ripples. You can get this weapon in Standard Weapon Convene, or as a gift you receive once you reach to Union level 45. Then the weapon you get when you buy the Battle Pass. And finally, the Jinzhou Keeper in Limited Weapon Convene. I would share some Yinlin's skill rotations, as on field DPS. Use Resonance skill to activate Void Thunder effects, and get 15% critical rate bonus for 5 seconds by her inherent skill. Apply Sinner Mark to enemies by basic attack, intro skill, or her ultimate. Use Heavy Attack to transform all the Sinner's Mark into Triangle Sinner's Mark. Use Thundering Mephis to deal 6 attacks on the enemies and trigger the Triangle Sinner's Mark every hits. Use Resonance skill the second times in the ends. As off-field sub-DPS, you might need her rotation more quickly. Use Thundering Mephis. Use her Resonance skill. Heavy Attack to trigger the Forte circuit, then switch to your DPS to cancel the animation and get the buff from her Outrow skill. This game focuses more on personal skills than on teams and lineups. You can use any team you want to complete the game. So if you have no idea about the lineups, there are many suggestions from the community. Yinlin's Outrow skill perfectly complements Calcaro. During Resonance Liberation, Calcharo's liberation damage and basic attack damage are approximately in a 2:1 ratio. Yinlin also provides Resonance Liberation Deepen and Electro Damage Deepen. Healer, Verena or Baiji. Verena's healing abilities and Concerto energy acquisition abilities are both greater than Baiji's, making her the preferred healer character. Verena's inherent skill provides a one-time death immunity effect. Baiji also has a similar effect that is even better, but it requires unlocking at sequence 5. Verena's healing amount is based on her attack, so Verena has a certain degree of damage output. If you build it well, her damage should not be underestimated. Verena's inherent skill can provide a 20% attack buff to the entire team, while Baiji can only provide a 15% attack buff to a single character. Both of them can carry the Rejuvenating Glow set that increase 15% attack for all party members for 30 seconds. And they can carry the Bellborn Turtle that provides 50% damage reduction and 10% damage boost for entire team. If you play Yinlin as DPS, you can use Sanhua as a sub-DPS. Sanhua Outro skill is buff for Yinlin basic attack. So that's all I wanted to share. If I missed something, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.